So this is important in math and in science. So this is part of like being able to identify. Oh, I didn't log in yet. Let me log in. What happened? Wow. They stopped my Google account. All right. All right, I'll send you the link, and then I don't know what's going on with my account. Khan Academy must have changed some new things, so I gotta. So here it says on a math quiz, Tatiana earned 5 points for each question she answers correctly. She wrote this equation to find how many points she earns based on how many questions she answers correctly. So how many points she earns is P based on how many questions she answers correctly, Q. So is points earned dependent or independent? Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I had my mute on. I didn't realize it. The P is the independent.
Why is P independent?
It's the P, the independent is where, let me see, the dependent. The independent depend on the dependent.
Right. So my question is points earned dependent or independent? You said it's independent. Tell me why.
I don't know. I know it depend on the D.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If I got 5 questions right, how many points earned would I have?
If you have 5 question right,
Mm-hmm.
that will be half. I don't know how much the points are.
Okay, read it again. On a math quiz, Tatiana earns 5 points for each question she answers correctly. She wrote this equation to find how many points she earns P based on how many questions she answers correctly Q. P equal 5Q. Identify the dependent and independent
Oh,
variables.
25.
You got 25. So that's the
Yes,
points earned is 25.
yes.
Where did you get that 25 from?
Because it says earn 5 points. 1 point is for 5 points.
1 point is for 5 points? You mean one question answered correctly is 5 points.
Yes.
So, so you can't tell how many points you received unless you know how many questions she got correct.
Yes.
So your points earned is not independent. Your points earned is dependent because you must know how many answers she got incorrect first. Your
Yes.
points earned depends on knowing how many questions she got correct. You
Yeah,
got,
I understand that for that part. Yes.
all right, let's try another question then. Let's see. Corey's favorite hiking trail is 10 kilometers long. They wrote this equation to find out how much time it would take to hike the trail T if they hike at a rate of R kilometers per hour. Identify the dependent and independent variables. Is time dependent or independent?
See, let me see.
What about sport? Takeaway
Give me
four.
a second. Give me a second. R is the dependent.
R is dependent.
Yes.
Takeaway four.
So T is independent.
No, T is the T should be the answer.
T is the answer. What do you? So is no. Listen to it, but it's. You said T is the answer. What I want. What is the question asking? The question is asking which variable is independent and which variable is dependent. So is T time? Is that dependent or independent?
The dependent.
Dependent. And your rate is what?
My rate is the independent.
Okay. You must know what R is before you can figure out T. So R is the independent variable. T is the dependent variable. Got me? Let's try one
Yeah.
more. Manira is planning a 300-kilometer trip. She wants to write an equation that shows how many hours the trip will take, T, in terms of the rate at which she travels. How would Manera write her equation? Now, this time it's not asking for the independent and dependent variable. It's asking what the equation would be. So if she travels 300 kilometers, she wants to write an equation that shows how many hours the trip will take in terms of the rate at which she travels. So what equation would be the right one?
Division.
Which one? It's two divisions, A and C.
Oh, okay. It would be I would say it's A.
You were right, because you need to know what's the rate that she's walking, or the rate of which she's, I don't know if she's walking, hiking, whatever. But you must know the rate before you can know how long it's going to take. Correct. All right, one more and then we're done. Maya is running a 10-kilometer race. She wants to write an equation for her average rate given it takes her to finish T. How should Maya write her equation?
B.
B.
Yes.
All right, why'd you say B?
Because the way that is set up there,
Mm-hmm.
so that's what's given.
What's given? So first of all, it says she wants to write an equation for her average rate. That should give you a clue right there. She wants to write an equation for her average rate, R. So that
Yes.
means it must be R equals something,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Remember, so let's check it because you picked B. See, that was incorrect because you got to, again, you said identify the givens. That was correct, but you identified the wrong givens. They're giving you, she wants to write an equation for her average rate R. So you know that's what she's trying to solve this equation for, R. So it has to be R
Okay.
equals something.
I understand now.
Got me?
Yes, I understand
Okay,
now.
good. All right, so again, I'm gonna send you this link. Let me see if I can send it to you now. Okay. So I don't know if you have a Khan Academy account, but even without one, you can access this link. So I sent you that link through the chat. Independent, dependent variables are very important in both mathematics, and science, because science is part of math is part of science. Got me?
Yes.
All right. What else? You the only one here, so it could be on you.
Mm.
Let me see
I
if I
can't
got.
believe people don't show up for your class. Oh my
Don't
goodness.
listen. You can't make people. Can't make people.
They're not gonna get any better than this.
They just don't know, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I think what the problem is when you tell people something is free,
Yeah, oh
They're
my goodness.
skeptical. They're skeptical whether it's,
And you
you
know
know what I
how much
mean?
money I spend on tutor, and they never teach me these things
Hmm.
until I meet you and you help me
Hmm.
pass it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. So, let me see if I can find, let me see, let me go to my tables, because tables, charts, and graphs are very important also. Let me make sure you not do scientific notation again. For math and science is both needed. Let's see what we got here. Okay, what is 7.474 times 10 to the negative fourth? Is it the first option, the second option, or the third option?
Okay, let me see. The first option.
First option, I don't know what it is. Let's check it. So we got 7.474. That means we got to move the decimal 5 places to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every we don't see anything, we're gonna put a 0. So now, actually, it's funny because all those answers are incorrect. But if you'd have picked A, that's probably a mistake of mine. But again, you got to move that decimal 5 places to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 4 zeros in front. This only has 3 zeros. See that? So actually, it should have been 0.00007474. Got me?
Yeah, I noticed something was
Mm.
wrong. I said it's 4, but it says
Mm.
-5. But
See,
that
even
was
I,
the closest one. I couldn't pick 3
uh-huh.
or 2.
Even I make mistakes. All right, how about this one here?
Mhm.
3.251 times 10 to the negative first.
That would be ABC.
C.
Yes.
0.3251, correct? You gotta move the
Mhm.
point, you gotta move the decimal point 1 place to
1.
your
Mhm.
left. Perfect. Okay. Now these are what's called computation straight. How do you um change standard form or into um scientific notation? You can also use your calculator. Again, um you would have to do it a little bit different here on the calculator because they're giving you scientific notation. So you would have to go to, well, you don't have to, but 9.348, you'd have to hit this right here times 10 to the n. And then because it starts with a negative, you got to use a negative next to enter. And when you press enter, it'll give you the correct one, which is, again, we moved it 3 places, so it's 2 zeros in front. This would be this last one here. So again, there's a way you can use your calculator to go back and forth between scientific notation. Um, all right, so let me try to find that tables. And of course, if it's a negative exponent, you move it to the left. If it's a positive exponent, you do it to the right.
Right, yes.
Okay, let's look at this one here. A poll was taken in a local high school asking students if they prefer cats, dogs, or neither. The results are shown below. What percent of the students prefer dogs? What percent of the students prefer
Preferred
dogs? Round
dog.
to the nearest whole percent. How would you do that?
It's 95%.
It's 95%.
It says, yeah, it says dog 95.
Mm-hmm. But is that 95%?
It said prefer.
So what percent of the students prefer dogs? You got four
Oh, okay,
choices
okay,
here.
okay, 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 okay. I understand. Uh, if it's 95, I would say 48% because it's very high. It's the highest one.
You sure about that?
Yeah, because it
Oh,
cannot be 75. It cannot be 30%.
mm-hmm.
Since
So
it's
you just
95, yeah, it has to be 48%.
well, what if 48 is a bogus multiple choice? They just threw that in there.
Let's see.
Okay. So what you want to remember to find a percent, we don't want any guessing. You got to start with what you know. So to find a percent is part over whole. We don't want any guessing.
Yes.
Part over whole. Now I like if you don't know the answer to take an educated guess, eliminate it some, and take an educated guess. But percent equal part over whole. So first of all, we want to know what percent is dogs. So that's going to be our
Mhm.
part. Our whole is going to be all of these. So we got
Okay.
95 plus 75 is 170 plus 30 is 200.
That's what they say, part over whole.
Part over whole.
Okay.
So now
Okay.
you 45. So again, you can grab your calculator.
Mhm.
I don't know why it's working so slow here. Hmm. Uh, I think my computer just froze here. I don't know what's going on here. Let me try to start this over real quick. But the important thing is identify what you know. They're asking for percent. That's part over whole. So we're gonna hit ND, 95 over 200. We're gonna convert that to a percent. So we hit second, hit the right parentheses because that green it says arrow percent. Convert it
Okay.
right to a
Okay.
percent. That's 47.5. They said round out to the nearest whole number, and that would be 48%. So you were
Yeah, I
right,
was right.
but let me
Hmm.
explain. But if I just would have, if that, so for example, if I had 48 and this was
Hmm.
51, which you said was always the highest one. Does it? No,
Yeah.
well, 51% is the highest one here, but that's not a right percentage. So you got
Okay.
to do it the way you're supposed to. You got to calculate it the proper way. We don't want it. Now, in that case, if you didn't know and you guess, you would have got lucky. But here,
Yeah.
you got to go start where we know. We hear percent,
Yeah. So,
part over whole.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What percent of the students are neither cats nor dogs?
Cats or dog?
Cats nor dogs.
Oh, nor dog. Okay. Um, 70, 80, 90, 100, 105. Who give me 105 over 200?
Where'd you get the 105 from?
The 105 is 70, 80, 90, 100, 100, and then 5. So I did cat and dog. I add cat and neither.
Okay, so see where you made your mistake?
Oh,
What
eh,
percent of students neither cat nor dogs?
oh, cat and
So actually what you wanted was 30 over 200. So you want to make sure you're reading it carefully. It says cats nor dogs.
oh,
Not
okay, okay.
not
It's not
cats or
both.
dogs, cats nor.
Oh, okay, okay. I
Got me?
understand.
So then it
Mm-hmm.
would be 15%.
See, that English is very complicated.
So this is where you gotta, you know, Take your time and read it. All right, let's get away from the dogs and cats. Let's see if we got another type. Okay. In the graph shown below, if the object has traveled for 5 seconds, the speed of the object will be approximately what? Is
They
it 30
charge
meters per second, 12 meters per second? You cannot tell from the information shown, or 0 millimeters per second. The object is standing still.
I can tell this is 30 speed percent. I don't know, 30. It says 30, which is number one.
Okay, how'd you get that?
Because I can tell when it goes up the number that they said, the 5.0, when you look at the dependent, is 30.
Okay, so that's how you read a graph. A
Yes.
graph has an X and a Y. So they gave you that it traveled for 5 seconds. So you see that 5 on the X axis, you come up to that point on that line, come over to your Y. So it's and that M/S, this is meters per second. So this is traveling 30 meters per second. Got me?
Yes.
Being able to read a graph is very, very important. I can almost guarantee you're going to have, especially in science.
Yeah, they're gonna have it.
Okay. The Charleston Recycling Company collects 50,000 tons of recyclable material every month. The chart shows the kinds of materials that are collected by the company's 5 trucks. Approximately how much paper is recycled every month?
How many papers?
How much
Well,
paper is recycled every month?
it says 40%.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be C.
C, 40,000 tons. How'd you get
Yeah.
40,000 tons?
Um, because you look at how many percentage where it says paper.
And tell me how you got it. Tell me how you did it.
You look at the whole chart and see
Mhm.
which one they have more, which it says 40%.
Mm-hmm. See,
And
again, what you're doing is you're making a big mistake. You're not doing the math behind it.
oh,
Which
that's the time I was supposed to do the part over whole.
no, because they gave us a percent. They gave us the part over whole already. They gave us paper is 40%. And when you're trying to figure out what the percentage is when you use part over whole. So now they gave us the percentage. They gave us the total amount of tons collected. Okay, there's several equations you must know that have to deal with percent. The first one is the one I gave you in the previous question. Percent equal part over whole. You should
Oh, okay.
always start there. You got to know that equation like the back of your hand. So in order to understand how to find a percent, you need part over whole. But you already got the percent. You already got the whole. So that means we need to solve for the what?
We need to it's for the whole.
Okay, let me repeat it again. We have the percent. We have the whole. What do we need to solve for?
Oh, we need to do it with in the calculator.
But what variable do we need to solve for? What variable don't we know? So when you look at that, those 3 variables, you got percent, you got part, and you got whole. For any equation, whether scientific or mathematic, there can only be one unknown. So which one of those that we don't have information on? Do we know what the percent is?
The percent. No, yes, we do know what the percentage are.
Which is what?
Is the percentage is We have to count everything together. 40, 50.
No, 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 no. Okay, look what it's giving you. It says approximately how much paper is recycled every month. We know how much paper is recycled, 40%. So we know the percent. We know this is 40%. We know that the total amount of recyclable collected is 50,000 tons. We do not know what the part is. That's what we had to solve. We have to solve this equation for the part. So again, okay, Mr. Tenzi, well, what are you talking about? Well, this says percent equal. What you have to remember is when you have a algebraic equation, you can solve for any variable given. What is a variable? It's just it could be a letter, it could be a word. It's just something that stands for an amount. Okay. So in this case, if I wanted to get part by itself,
Yes.
how would I get part by itself? What would I need to get rid of to get part by itself?
Mhm. Part. We would have to add everything together.
No, no. Look at that equation. Percent equal part over whole. If I wanted to get part all by itself, what would I have to get rid of?
Um, Part over whole.
So if we want to get part, if we want to only see part on that side of the equation, what would we have to get rid of?
Um, the whole.
The whole. Part is being divided by whole. What's the opposite of dividing by whole?
Multiplication.
Multiplying by what?
Um, Multiplying by 40% and
Look at the equation. We want to get see what you're doing is you're trying to remember what the answer is. You're trying to figure it out what it is, and you're not asking yourself the basic algebraic principles. Like for example, if I got 10 equal 5x, how do I get x by itself? I need to get rid of this 5. The opposite of multiplying by 5 is dividing by 5.
division, yeah.
Whatever I do to one side, I do on the other. 5's cancel. I got x equal 2. Okay,
Oh,
this
okay.
is the equation, correct?
Yes.
And so here we have another equation that says percent equal part divided by whole. So we're trying to get part by itself. That means we need to get rid of whole. So when we look at that right side, we got part. If we want to get by itself, we need to get rid of whole. Well, what's the opposite of dividing by whole is multiplying by whole. So
Yes.
whatever we do on one side, we do on the other. So
Yes.
now these wholes cancel. I got part equal whole times percent. This is the second equation you must know. But what I was trying to give you is give you the first equation and how to solve for a variable so you don't have to remember every one of these equations. You can solve for it. So part equal whole times percent. So we got 50,000, which is the whole, times the percent, which is 40%. We change that to a decimal, so 50,000 times 0.4. Okay, now if you want to do this mental math, 5 times 4 is 20. 1, 2, 3. So the proper answer would have been 20,000. Now the second part I could tell you, okay, if you want to do it the common sense way, okay, so a lot of times for you, you're not thinking of this problem mathematically. You're looking at it and it's saying, well, how would I figure this out? Instead of starting algebraically, how would I solve it? So if you want to solve the common sense way, right? Watch this. I'm gonna show you something which you have to understand. If the total is 50,000,
Mm-hmm.
what's half of that? What's 50% of that?
Another 50. Oh, the
So
50 is
half of
25,
50,000,
25,
25.
25. Mm-hmm.
So 25,000 tons.
Yeah.
Well, 40% is less than 50%, correct?
Yes.
So you know your answer must be a little smaller than 25,000. The only one here that's smaller than 25,000 is 20,000. If
Oh,
you wanted to
okay.
solve it common sense, right?
Yeah,
Another way
yeah,
you could have did it. What I'm trying to do is show you several different ways that make
yeah.
sense, right? What did I tell you? How do you find 10% of any number? To find 10% of any number, you just move the decimal one place. So 10% is 5,000. So that means 40% will be 4 times as big. So 5,000 times 4, 20,000. Okay. But for you to answer, so I put those answers there purposely 40, 50, 60, because I put them close. Well, 60,000 can't be it because we know the total is 50,000. We know 50,000 can't be the answer because that's 100%. That's everything already.
Yeah.
What we do know is paper is less than half, a little less than half. Got me?
Yeah, I understand now.
Okay. So again, go on to here and go into tables, charts, and graphs and take these quizzes because table charts and graphs are a very important part of your science exam and your math exam. Okay. So let's see if you can. Now we did that last one. Let's see if we can figure this one out. Approximately how much plastic is recycled every month? Is it 10,000, 75,000, 5,000, or 7,500? So what answer you know it can't be? What answer
Let me see. It cannot be 75.
you know it can't be 70 because the total is 50,000. So we know
Yeah.
it answer can't be 75,000. Okay, what's 10% of 50,000? What's 10% of 50,000?
So 50,000.
What's 10% of 50,000? How do we find 10% of 50,000?
Hmm.
All right, let me go back real quick.
Oh yeah. You we go back like the 0, put a point there. No, not here. Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
then count.
10% is 5,000.
Yes.
Remember, 10% is 10 over 100 or 1 over 10. So when this is why you move it 1 decimal to the left because you're dividing by 10. So if we know 10% is 5,000 and we trying to find 15%, right? So if we
Yeah.
know 10% is 5,000, we know 10% is 10,000. But we're trying to find 15%.
15%.
So what answer do you think is the right answer? 5,000, 7,500, or 10,000? I'm in my office.
I would say it's number 10. I mean, not 10 order. I say
No,
number 1. Oh, you're on the phone.
you said number 1 is 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go back to what we did. We said 10% was 5,000. We said 20% was 10,000. We're trying to find plastic, which is 15%. How can 15% be 10,000 when 20% is 10,000?
Oh, 20%.
So look at what you're doing. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back over these videos and you got to understand how to do percentages.
Yeah.
Okay. So to find 10%, we said 10% was 5,000. We can now find anything close to 10%. Why? If we know 10% is 5,000, 20% is twice as big, which is 10,000. 5% is half of 10%, which is 2,500. This is the common sense way. To find 15%, we take those two. What's 5%? 2,500. 10% is 5,000. We add those together, we get 7,500. Okay.
Okay.
The algebraic way was to say, okay, what percent is plastic? 15%. Change that to a decimal. Say part equal whole times percent. Your whole is 50,000. Your percent is 15%, which is 0.15. And you plug that to the calculator, you'll get 7,500. Okay, so that's the second part of percent prop. So let me give you all the percent problems you need to know first of all. So let me go to my blank page and let me try to type something in. So the first one is percent equal part divided by whole. Part equal whole times percent. Whole equal part divided by percent. And then one last one you should know is percent change. And we didn't go over that yet, but it's new minus old divided by old. Those are the 4 questions or the 4% problems you should be familiar with for the math and the science.
Okay.
Okay, so let me clear this out. So I showed you 2. We found percent, we found part. Let me see if I got a whole one here. So 7,500. And again, I need you to understand what's given. So the total amount collected was 50,000. Remember,
Mhm.
a pie chart or pie graph is just comparisons to the whole. So again, go with what you know. You know half is 25,000. You know 10% is 5,000. So if they're asking you about 15%, again, going with what you know. If I know 10% is 5,000, I know 5% is 2,500. Understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try this one. The chart below represents the average amount of rainfall each month in the town of Gibson. During which month of the year does the most rain fall? March, January, December, November.
January.
Okay, this is fairly easy,
Yeah.
but you got to identify what you know. And this is a common practice. Okay, these are your months. This is how much
Yeah.
rainfall is falling. So visually, you can see that
Yeah,
January
that's the
has the
highest
most.
one.
That's fairly easy. That's not hard. Will they probably be
Mhm.
that easy? Maybe, maybe not. I thought I hit, I hit submit. I meant to, all right, we'll go. Sorry about that. I thought I hit next.
Mhm.
I think that was question 7. So let's go to 8. What is the mean amount of rainfall during the year? What is the mean amount of rainfall during your year? So finding the max was easy. But this is a little different. What is the mean amount of rainfall during the year? Round to the nearest inch. Is it 6, 7, 8, or 9 inches?
What I know about the mean,
Okay.
I know you add all the numbers
Okay. What numbers
and
are
then
you
you
adding?
divide it, huh?
What numbers are you adding?
Um, oh God, this girl is making so much. I would say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
Where are you getting 2 from?
On the side.
Why'd you say 2,
Oh, there's
4, 6? What else? Where you getting it? Like, okay, where you getting the 2, 4, 6
the
from?
rainfall inches, the numbers that
Mm-hmm.
goes up,
Okay.
where the y-axis supposed to be.
Okay, so how many inches fell during January?
January is 12.
Okay, we gonna go in order. So even though you might have been right with the 2, 4, 6, we want to go in order. So 12
Mm-hmm.
plus 8
Mm-hmm.
is 20,
Mm-hmm.
plus 9 is 29, plus
Oh, I
7 is
wasn't looking at
36.
that.
Again, so this is where you need to understand what you're looking at. So if in
Okay.
order for me to find the mean, you knew how to find the mean, you said add them up. But now what are we adding up? We're adding
Okay.
up the amounts for each month. So 12, 8 is 20, plus 9 is 29, plus 7 is 36, plus 6 is 42,
And 4
46,
and 2.
48,
And that one I would
51,
say. Okay.
52, 57, 65, 75. Or you could have, if mental math gives you issues, you want to use the calculator. But what you have to understand is you understood the definition of the mean.
Yeah, but the
Which
thing is, my mistake. I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at the numbers because the means always go by the numbers. I wasn't counting the
which
dots
you
where the yearly rain.
right. So February
Yeah,
is 8, March is 9,
yeah,
April is 7. That's where we got those numbers from.
yes,
So
yes. I understand now.
that's learning how to read a graph is very important. So we got again, I'm just gonna type these in. 12 plus 8 plus 9 plus 7 plus 6 plus 4 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10. We get our total, and
Hmm.
then we divide by how many there are. It's 12 months in a year. So we're going to divide that by 12 to the nearest whole number. Round to the nearest inch. So that answer would be what?
6.3.
If we round to the nearest
That'd
inch.
be 6.4.
If we round to the nearest inch. It didn't say round to the nearest
And
tenth. Round to the
oh,
nearest inch.
um, I don't understand the inch part.
Okay. So what you have to understand is this is tenths with a TH. It did not say round to the tenths, did it?
Mm-mm.
This is hundreds. It did not say round to the hundreds. This is thousands. It did not say round to the thousands. This is
No,
my ones. This is my tens. This is my hundreds. So if I want to
no,
round to the nearest inch,
that inch.
that's a whole number. That means round to the nearest whole number on my ones place. So if I got, so 6.333,
Mhm.
My whole number, what digit is in my ones, please?
6
6. I look at the number to the right. Is that 5 or above?
is lower.
It's lower. So that's 6. What happens to the 6?
The 6, it stays the same.
So that's my answer. 6. Okay. So again, that's language again for you. So you knew what the mean was. So you had to identify what those points on that graph meant. So I showed you how to do that. You then have to add up the rainfall for each month. We found our total by adding them up and got 76. We divided by 12, we got 6.3. The small mistake you made is it said round to the nearest inch. So think how you would say inch. 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, right?
Yes.
If I was talking about tenths, I'd be like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. If I said hundreds, I'd be like 1.15, 1.20, right? If we was
Yeah.
talking about tens, it'd be 10, 20, 30. If we was talking about hundreds, it'd be 100, 200, 300. So here, when you round off to the nearest inch, it's the nearest whole number.
Yeah, I understand.
You got me?
Yes.
So right away, I see areas which you should be able to improve on your science exam. Because a lot of it for you is language. Okay,
Yeah.
what is the median? Tell me what the median is.
The median is when you put the numbers all together. You count all the numbers from smallest to big, and then you take
All
the
right, what's
median
first?
number.
Put them in order for me.
Okay. Um, 1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4.
4,
There's 2 6,
2 6s,
1 7,
1 7,
2 8,
2 8s. I'm running out of room here.
9,
9,
1 10,
10. Let me move this over real quick.
and 12.
And 12. Exactly. Exactly what you want to do. Now, those are in order. What's the middle?
Okay, so let's cancel by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the front will be canceled. Put a line over it for me, please. Okay, 12, 10, 9, 8. Let's cancel that to make it easier for me. Okay, so now let's cancel 6 and 8. Now I have to add this. Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 divided by 2.
So it said round to the nearest inch again.
To the nearest inch again. Oh, that inch. Oh, okay, that would turn to a 7.
Right. Because
Yeah,
go
because
to
that's
your
a
ones
5.
place. Is that 5 or above? Yes. That 6 becomes a
A
7.
7. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Very,
Good to
very good.
you.
So now you see that you can know how to do something computationally, but when they give you a word problem, how do I put it all together? So
Yeah.
we had to interpret, first of all, what they want. They wanted the median. Second of all, we had to identify the number of inches for each month. We had to put them in order. If you notice, like you put them in order. But if you notice on screen, what did I do? As you said each one, I crossed them out because I don't want to repeat or make a mistake. So as you were putting them in order, you said, okay, let me go to the lowest one first. Okay.
Yes.
And that's what you did. And I crossed them out. We put them in order. You went front to back, cross them out till you have either 1 left or 2 left. You had 2 left. That means there was an even amount of data. You add those two up, you got 13 divided by 2, and then we had to round off to the nearest inch, which was 7 inches. That was very good. This is the type of problem people get wrong on the GED because they know they understand what the median and mean are, but they don't
Yeah,
understand how to use the information from the graph.
I would never think of that if it was in you. I would not. That would never come across my head.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Again, this is all, and this is very important for this tables, charts, and graph. You have to know how to read a graph. So we did what's the highest amount. We did what was the mean amount. We did the median. Asking a different question now. What consecutive months has the largest decrease in rainfall?
Okay, the lowest decrease would be in September.
Okay, so you said decrease.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. You said so September is the lowest decrease.
Yes.
What does decrease mean?
Like the lowest one.
No, that's called your minimum. Decrease means to go down.
Yeah, to go down.
So which rainfall from month to month did it go down the most?
From month to month,
Right.
it goes down the
So
most.
increase means to go up. Decrease means to go down. Minimum is the lowest point. Maximum is the highest point. What you did was you selected the lowest point. What we want to know is from month to month, what had the largest decrease?
The
So let me ask.
largest decrease
Mm-hmm.
is from um I see October to December, but I don't see the answers there.
Okay. So you said from October to December is a decrease. So if in October is 6, December it went up to 10. Is that an increase or a decrease?
Oh, that's an increase.
That's an increase.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, we're trying to know what's the largest that it went down. So from month to month, what's the largest one? It went down.
Okay. January to February.
January to February. It went from
Mm-hmm.
12 down to 8. So it went down 4. It went down -4. From February to March, it went up. From March to April, it went from 9 to 7. It went down 2. It went down 1. It went down 2. It went down 2. It went up 1. It went down 2. Went up 4. Went up
Okay,
4.
okay.
So the largest decrease was here from January to February. Perfect.
Yeah, I understand now.
So that is very, very good. And again, this is why it's important for math and science. You know how to read a graph. So what did we do? We said, okay, how do you find the maximum? That's the highest value. How do we find the mean, which is the average? We added them all up, divided by how many months there were. The median, you had to go to the amount of each rainfall for each month, put them in order, and then find the middle. And then this one it's very important. What's the largest decrease? Decrease is going down. Increase
Yeah,
means to
it's
go up.
not the lowest. It's the amount where it's going down.
Right. Hey, Saquanda, how you
Okay.
doing?
I'm okay, and you?
Fine. So usually we start at 6, we end at 7. So you are coming in on the end of what we were doing today. Darlene, even though this is for math, math is a part of science. She wanted to make sure she understood how to read a table, chart, and graph. So that's what we were doing as you came in.
Okay.
So this class is every Monday from 6 to 7.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the last question I guess we're going to do for the night. Again, and I can almost guarantee you're going to have several questions on mean, median, and range. Okay? They might not say range on the science exam. They might say variance. They might say difference. Okay? The range, what is range? Can either one of you tell me what the range is?
The range is the largest number.
Mm-hmm.
The smallest.
Correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the maximum
And the minimum.
minus the minimum. So in this case, what will be the highest amount of rainfall according to this graph?
12.
12. What's the lowest amount of rainfall according to this graph?
1.
1. So
1.
12 minus 1 is what?
11.
11.
11. So the range of rainfall during this year is 11 inches. Got me?
Yes.
I
I
can
am going
guarantee.
to watch my video for 100 times.
Right. So what you should see now is the stuff that we went over so far: the independent and dependent variables, the Punnett square, the mean, median, and range. You're probably not going to see mode that much, but right now, according to your practice test, those are all questions you missed. So you should be able to go in again. We want to get this language because I think your biggest barrier sometimes is your language. So make sure a lot of these science terms can be confusing. So make
Yeah.
sure you read that question first. Find out what they're looking for first. Got me?
Okay.
So what did we do? We said we did independent, dependent
Yeah.
variables. We did scientific notation. We did mean, median, and
Okay.
range. So Saquanda, just because this is your first time, is there anything you've been working on that you want me to show you how to do before we leave this evening?
The graphs.
What about the graphs?
I get confused when it say ask you to plot the points.
Okay, plot the points. Okay. So what we're going to do is let me see if I got. So let me go to my module. So this is a free course. The course that you're seeing is a free course that I created to cover almost anything that's going to be on the GED. So what I did was I put this under linear equations. Okay. It's the coordinate plane. So ordered pairs in the quadrant plane. So let's look at that. This is a free course. It doesn't cost you anything. Your practice is free. It doesn't cost you anything. You just need to have a Gmail so you can access these outside sites that I'm using. So this one is called CK12, and you can practice as much as you want. I have my own practice on the site, but I also use Khan Academy and CK12 for practice. So let's look at this one right here. Identify the coordinate of the point B plotted on the coordinate grid. This is a guaranteed question on your math exam. It's guaranteed. It's been on every single exam since 2014. What you have to remember is that this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. Every point is an ordered pair. So order means x before y. Pair means 2. So ordered pair means x before y. I need 2. So point B would be what? If I go down to my x, 1, over to my y, 2. So point B will be 1, 2, which would be D. That's it, guaranteed question. And that's all you have to do. So what you do, like on something like this, even though I'm asking you one question, what you would go is go, that means pick D, check it, I'm right, next question. So before we leave, let me ask you a question. Let's see if you got it. And again, this site is free. If you want access to this, just send email to send me an email, passgedmath79@gmail.com. So right here, what would be the coordinates of point A? Would it be minus 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, minus 3, or 3, minus 4 for point A?
It'll be 3,
Okay, yeah, X is 3. And will be your Y.
Would that be a 3?
3. Move to your Y. What happened was you said, can both answers be 3?
Yeah, because
Right?
for a minute I'm like, hold on, wait a minute.
Yep. So we'll do one more. So let's check that. 3, 3. Let's check it. That was correct. Again, okay. Give me. Let's find another one. That's 4. That will be 4, comma 1. I want to see if we can find one that's in another coordinate beside A. Oh, I don't feel like the picture. Let's just get it wrong on purpose. I want to go back to. I don't want that either. -5, -5, -3. Let's say it's in the first one. That's wrong. What happens is, as you get answers correct, it increase your skill level. So
Okay.
I want it to where they're asking you, what that point is again. So these are all questions you should know as you're going through this. But I'm trying to find one. There we go. Okay. Which of the following correctly represents the point 6, comma 2 on the graph? Which of the following correctly? What you got to remember is each ordered pair, your X is always first, then your Y. 6, comma 2.
A.
Stop playing. First night, you got a guaranteed question in your exam. Bam!
Okay, I get it now. I get
You
it.
got it now. Look, and it's
I
your
get it
first night,
now.
5 minutes. Stop playing.
Yeah.
So listen, we do end at 7. So I hope to see you next Monday. Remember, I'm gonna put my email in the chat. Write that down, and then send me an
Okay.
email, and I'll make sure you receive an email every week for class.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Darlene, have a good night. Sequando, welcome to the class. Have a good night, and I'll see you next Monday.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Good
welcome.
night.
Bye-bye.